Two presidential candidates in Zimbabwe's election are being investigated for flouting electoral laws. Zimbabwe's Electoral Commission has just briefed the media to give an update on voting so far. For more on this, we cross our reporter Chriselda Lewis in Harare. Good afternoon, Chriselda. Give us an update of what's just taken place.
Well, that media briefing has just been concluded. It's the first one by the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission since polling and voting got underway this morning at 7 o'clock. First of all, the chairperson of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, Chriselda Lewis, first giving an update saying that polling has so far been conducted in a very peaceful environment, and confirmed that most polling stations around the country had opened on time. But the burning questions, of course, that came from the media shortly after she started taking questions, when she mentioned that two presidential candidates are being investigated for flouting the electoral laws. You'd recall yesterday SABC News reported quite extensively after getting confirmation from the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission that they were investigating and in fact reported the MDC Alliance leader Nelson Chamisa to the police for allegedly flouting the electoral laws by holding that press conference here in the city centre yesterday, accusing him of campaigning after the deadline. Then lots of questions were also raised after a video went viral showing the President Emmerson Mnangagwa also basically within that video saying that after the press conference by the former President Robert Mugabe, where he basically endorsed Nelson Chamisa, then in that video by President Emmerson Mnangagwa, he basically said that a vote basically for Nelson Chamisa would be tantamount to bringing the former President Robert Mugabe on board. So when I did ask specifically the chairperson of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission why, if Emmerson Mnangagwa is the second presidential candidate who is now being investigated for flouting electoral laws, she refused to answer my question and said she thinks that it would be in the interest of peace not to mention any names going forward. But I think a lot of questions are now being raised because it seems the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission was quite comfortable mentioning the name of the MDC Alliance leader Nelson Chamisa yesterday. So they didn't take much questions, and certainly I think that's one of the issues that will take centre stage. People will ask questions about why the ZEC found it comfortable to mention the name of the official opposition leader and not the second presidential candidate who is now being investigated. Everyone speculating, of course, that this would definitely be Emmerson Mnangagwa, given the fact that he was the one who was seen in that video basically saying that a vote for Nelson Chamisa would be tantamount to bringing the former President Robert Mugabe on board.
Giving us an update there on that briefing by the ZEC. We are following Zimbabwe elections closely. Nompumelelo has more for you on that story.